We will stand up again. We will march again. We will preach again. We will organize again. We are black. We are white. We are Latino. We are Native American. We are Democrat. We are Republican. We are independent. We are people of faith. We are people not of faith. We are natives and immigrants. We are business leaders and workers and unemployed. We are doctors and the uninsured. We are gay. We are straight. We are students. We are parents. We are retirees. We are North Carolina, and we're here, and we ain't going nowhere.
Let the church say amen. Through the North Carolina NAACP, HKonJ Historic Thousands on Jones Street, the overall Forward Together Tomorrow movement, I am honored to have this opportunity to be here, and you will see him soon with our friend, Reverend Dr. William J. Barber II, and our, amen, and our fabulous team of leaders and organizers as participants of this momentous Durham Morrow Monday. Durham, are you in the house? Chapel Hill, are you in the house? And if you're not from Durham, I'm not from Chapel Hill, are you here? Let me hear you say yeah. Now, while I have served as the Historic Thousands on Jones Street coordinator for the North Carolina NAACP since 2011, my heartfelt involvement in the cause for social justice started when I was, really before I was 11 years old. Being born in September of 1959 means that the March on Washington of 1963, the March on Washington of 1963 actually happened while I was 3 years old. I was only 3 years old when I heard a young preacher by the name of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. informing the world of a place in the South with vicious racists, with this governor whose lips were dripping with interposition and nullification. And by the time the Voting Rights Act of 1965 was passed, I was only 5 years old. And by the time I became a proud card-carrying member of the NAACP, I was an old man at 10 years old. Now, in other words, by the time I was 10 years old and got into this fight, the Civil Rights Act had already been passed. But how many of you know that the fight for justice is never irrelevant? It never ends. Whether proactive or reactive, the fight for justice must continue, because the minute you think you've moved up an inch, then comes the backlash, then comes the repeal, then comes the vicious rebellion to take us back a mile. But I don't know if you're ready, but I'm ready to say, I'm ready to go forward. I'm not ready to go back. I'm going forward. I'm ready to get on the midnight train to justice. How many of you in the crowd know that we were born to fight this fight? We were born for this moment. We are ready to stand up. We are not backing up. We're not going to turn around. We're going forward together and not one step. We were born not to stand still in a state of confusion. We were born not to hang around in the sleeping town of do nothing. We were born not to sit back on the couch of complacency. We were not sent here to die on the self-destructive streets of self-hate. This is why I'm leaving here. I have my voting ballot as my ticket, and I'm standing with it. And I'm leaving on the midnight train to justice. Therefore, no matter what point in history that the majority seem to think they can oppress us, no matter what point in history, there's always a righteous army that's rising up, that God has sent forth to break the chains of hatred, to break the chains of ignorance, to break the chains of racism, to break the chains of do-nothingism. We are rising up to break every chain. We are getting the ticket. The ballot is my ticket. I'm going to stand with it, and I'm not going to back up. I'm going to get on board and get on the midnight train to justice. If you're ready to stand up, say yeah. If you're ready to fight, say yeah. If you're not going to back up, say yeah. If you're ready for justice to stand up like you've never stood up before, say yeah. We are not going to have the old Jim Crow. We're not going to have the new Jim Crow. We're not going to have Jim Crow Jr. We're not going to have James Esquire Jim Crow III. We are not going to have any Jim Crow. We've been there, done that, got the t-shirt and the hat. We are saying no to Jim Crow. We are not going back. We are fired up, ready to go, fired up, ready to go, fired up, ready to go. If you're ready, say yeah. If you're ready, say yeah. If you're ready, say yeah. If I ask you what do you want, do you say justice? What do you want? Justice. What do you want? Justice.